Good morning, students. Welcome back. Very soon you are going to get textbooks as well. We will intimate you. Okay. And in the month of June, I have decided 2 chapters to complete. One from history and one from geography. That is chapter number 2 from history as well as from geography. And today I am going to take up chapter number 2, that is from history, from trade to territory. So here I have divided the topic or the chapters into different parts, and today we are going to see part 1. I have also attached a video related to this topic, so please go through it, study it, understand it, and if you have any doubt or query, please do ask me without any hesitation. Don't show negligence here afterwards. Children, take it seriously and learn properly. So, let's move on to our chapter.
Friends, let's start chapter number 2 from history, from trade to territory, part 1. East India Company comes east. Okay. Aurangzeb was the last powerful ruler of the Mughal Empire who established control over large part of India. So, last powerful Mughal emperor. After his death in the year 1707, Delhi no longer remained an effective center of power. Governors and landlords asserted their power and control to establish regional kingdoms. We have already studied in our previous standard that governors and landlords like Asad Shah, Murshid Quli Khan, Ali Vardi Khan, they established their control to establish regional kingdom because they thought that the Mughal rulers were no more powerful. You can see the picture of Aurangzeb here, the last powerful Mughal emperor. Let's move. By the second half of the 18th century, the British, which came to India as a small trading company, started emerging as a new power on the political horizon. So, why the British came to India? For trading purpose. How they came to India? As a small trading company, British East India Company. It was established in the year 1602, came to India with the purpose of trading, but by the second half of the 18th century, it emerged as a new political power. The East India Company acquired the sole right to trade with East. Actually, in the European countries, there were many trading companies, and in that the British East India Company got the sole right to trade in East. That means in England. I am talking about in Britain. There are so many countries like French, France, Portuguese, Dutch, etc. But I am talking about in Britain, only the British East India Company got the sole right to carry trade in the East, not the others. The other European powers like the Portuguese, the Dutch and the French also entered India, and they established French East India Company, British East India Company, Portuguese East India Company and the Dutch East India Company. All they had their colonies, one Goa as a colony, one Pondicherry as colony, one Kolkata as colony, like that. But ultimately the British remained here as a powerful trading company. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, discovered the sea route to India in 1498. This particular date as well as the person is very important. All the trading companies were interested in silk, cotton and spices. Why? Because that were in great demand in Europe. So Europeans, they wanted more and more silk items, cotton as well as the spices, and that is why these British, Dutch, Portuguese and the French East India companies, through trade they wanted to supply all these things to the European people. Competition in the European companies pushed up the prices and reduced their profit. What happened when there is more competition? When there is more competition, automatically they will get less profit. If you wanted to earn more profit, then what you have to do? There should be no competition. If there is monopoly, say for example, if there is only one grocery shop, all will go there, and whatever price he says, that you have to pay and you have to purchase. And if there are many grocery shops in and around, then you can go to other grocery shops also. You can ask for the prices, and wherever you feel comfortable price, then you can purchase. The British also thought like that. If the Dutch, Portuguese, and French, if they supply all these things to British people or the European people, then they will not be going to get any profit. Then what they thought? The only way to maintain profit was by eliminating the rivals. Rivals means dushman. So by eliminating the rivals, one can earn the profit. That was the thinking of the British. This resulted in fierce battles between the trading companies along with the intense conflict with the local rulers. Local rulers in India, they were also opposing the British, so the British have to fight with the local rulers as well. Then we are going to see that who are the local rulers. Tipu Sultan plays a very important role. Marathas plays a very important role. They were opposed the British, and even within the other ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनीज लाइक फ्रेंच, डच, पोर्चुगीज, उनके साथ भी झगड़ना पड़ा और लोकल रूलर्स के साथ भी उनको झगड़ना पड़ा. देन East India Company begins trade in Bengal. I am talking about East India, British East India Company. They started their trade in Bengal. The British set up the English East India Factory on the banks of River Hooghly. There's a place called Kasim Bazar in 1651, along a warehouse, that is godown, and a company office. With that, only one English factory with one English office or company office and godown. With this, they started a factory at Kasim Bazar on the banks of river Hooghly in Kolkata. As trade extended or expanded, the merchants and the traders. Now the difference between merchants and traders, the trader is one who is buying and selling for the livelihood, for earning money to run their families. Whereas the merchants wanted to carry on trade and were asked to come and settle near the factory. Whomsoever was engaged or carrying the trade with the British East India Company, the British requested them to come and settle near the factory or the bank of Hooghly. The company began fortification. Once all the British people were inside, they started building boundary. Colony jaise bana diya, fortification, fencing lagaya. And around the settlement in 1696, the company acquired zamindari right. Zamindari right, that is to collect the land revenue of 3 villages. How? By bribing the Mughal officials. The Mughal officials को bribe करके they got the zamindari rights of 3 villages. The company even persuaded to induce Manana Aurangzeb to grant duty-free trading right. They just requested मनाया इतना अच्छे से मनाया, just allow us to carry duty-free trade. Officials now refused to pay the duty on private trade. Now, for the company, they got exempted. You are carrying trade in the name of British East India Company. No need to pay duty or tax. But when you are an individual person, you are also a British person working for the British East India Company, you wanted to conduct a private trade. Private, अपना खुद का business करना चाहते हो. At that time also these company officials, they did not pay any tax. They have to pay, but they did not pay any tax, and that was a huge loss for the revenue of Bengal. Now this all resulted in the Battle of Plassey. It is a very important in the history of India. That has happened in the year 1757. Sirajuddaula became the Nawab of Bengal after the death of Alivardi Khan. So Bengal, we are talking about everything in Bengal only. This worried the company as they needed a puppet ruler who would grant them trade concession and privileges. Why the British became worried? The British become worried because Siraj Dawla is the new Nawab. If Siraj Dawla is a new Nawab, then what is the problem? The British knows very well that he is a very kadus person and he will not allow them to get any he will not allow them to carry he will not allow them any concessions or privileges, and that worried the British very much. They even tried one of Sirajudawla's rivals become Nawab. They don't want Sirajudawla to become Nawab. Actually, they were planning someone else who is a rival of Sirajudawla to become the Nawab. This made Sirajudawla angry. When Sirajudawla comes to know, when he understood that the British were planning to make somebody else as the Nawab, he was very much angry and he asked the company to stop meddling, that mediating in the political affairs, and then stop building forts and to pay the revenue. He is now very much angry. He considered that this British, they are his enemy, and what he did, he asked, listen, you are not supposed to enter in the internal affairs of Bengal, political affairs of Bengal. Then secondly, stop the fortification. Who told you to construct the forts and all? Stop it. And third thing he said, that pay the tax. Okay, these three things he asked the British to do. Later, Sirajudawla, and of course, then Sirajudawla requested, he told the British, but the British did not listen to him at all. They took him very casually. They started building fortification, then they continued to trade on duty free, and they even started mediating in the political affairs. With this, Sirajudawla became very angry. What he did? He attacked the English factory at Qasim Bazar. As I told you, they established their first factory at Qasim Bazar. So Sirajudawla, he asked his people to attack Qasim Bazar, sudden surprise attack. Captured the company's officials. Company office was there. He asked them to capture them all of a sudden. Locked the warehouse. They were having a godown. Lock करवाया गया. Disarmed Englishmen. English people, they were having pistols, arms and ammunitions. सब कुछ ले लिया. And blockaded the English ships. English का पूरा ship को block किया गया. इतना काम किया उसने. Attacked English factory, then captured company officials, locked the warehouse, disarmed Englishmen, as well as blockaded the English ships. Now, British क्या किया? Let's see. On hearing this, it was a sudden attack, as I told you. Forces under the command of Robert Clive were sent to negotiate. From where? From England. He was sent. Failed negotiation, Robert Clive cannot convince Sirajudawla, and that ultimately stand against Sirajudawla at Plassey in the year 1757, where the latter was defeated. In that, both the armies met on the battlefield of Plassey in the year 1757, and in that Sirajudawla was defeated. One thing, children, we have to note that Sirajudawla अपने आप नहीं हारा था. He was not defeated himself. Actually, Mir Jafar, who was he? He was the commander-in-chief, or you can say Senadipati of Sirajudawla's army. That means he used to give instruction. Okay. Now what this Mir Jafar did? Mir Jafar remained mute. Mute means not fighting at all. Neither his army. Okay. They did not support Sirajudawla. ना उन्होंने बैटल किया, ना ब्रिटिश के साथ उन्होंने फाइटिंग किया, बीच में खड़े रहे, मिडिल बन के, ना बैटल किया और ना ही कुछ किया. इससे क्या हो गया? द ब्रिटिश वे easily defeated Sirajudawla. That was what Mir Jafar इतना रोल इतना किया. Because why? He was bribed by the British. The British said that if you support us in the battle, what we will do? We will make you as the new Nawab. So Mir Jafar considers, or he thinks that if I will be a Nawab, then what is required then? That's all. So that is why he remained mute in the battle. He did not support Sirajudawla at all. Mir Jafar was then made the Nawab of Bengal after Sirajudawla's assassination. This is the clever Robert Clive, so who plotted all these things. इतना मीर जाफ़र को कन्विंस करके, उसको ब्राइब करके, ये सब इन्होंने किया. मीर जाफ़र को तुझे कुछ करने का ज़रूरत नहीं है, तू चुपचाप खड़े रहे, तुझे युद्ध करने का ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, तू कुछ मत कर. एंड उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया. एंड द रिजल्ट इज दैट सिराजुद्दौला वाज डिफीटेड. नाउ the company soon realized that even puppet nawabs were not that helpful, as they needed to maintain a basic appearance of dignity in front of the subject. Subject means people. The British, they wanted to show as if they are very dignified personalities, very pure personality. They wanted to show off themselves, but they thought that these nawabs are no more, not puppet rulers are not helpful for them. When Mir Jafar protested, they put so many demands. If you study the history, you will come to know that so many demands were put forward by the British. And Mir Jafar, he tried his best. Every time he says yes, he used to follow. But kab tak jele? And after to an extent, even he refused. As and when he refused, he was deposed. अरे तू नहीं सुनता है क्या? कोई बात नहीं, तो अगर नहीं सुनता है तो और कोई है. एंड ही वाज डिपोज्ड, दैट इज ब्रॉट डाउन बाय द कंपनी एंड रिप्लेस्ड बाय मीर कासिम. तो नहीं है तो क्या, दूसरे को लगा देंगे. मीर कासिम इज नाउ द न्यू नवाब. मीर कासिम टू वाज कंप्लेनिंग. मीर जाफर फिर भी बहुत सुनता था, बट मीर कासिम को बहुत चिड़चिड़ होने लगा. अरे इनका डिमांड तो ख़त्म ही नहीं होता है. हाँ, एवरीथिंग बंगाल लॉस में जा रहे हैं, बंगाल का सब्जेक्ट को कुछ नहीं करना है. एवरीथिंग प्रॉफिट, एवरीथिंग इज गेन्ड बाय द ब्रिटिश. एंड मीर कासिम वाज आल्सो फेड अप, अल्टीमेटली लीडिंग टू द बैटल ऑफ बक्सार in the year 1764, where he was defeated and Mir Jafar was reinstated. अरे तुमसे अच्छा तो वो मीर जाफर ही था. Once again मीर जाफर was made the Nawab of Bengal by the British. You can see the picture of now Mir Qasim. Okay. After Mir Jafar's death, the company realized that the puppet Nawabs would be of no helpful to them. They intended to be Nawab themselves. अरे खुद नवाब बनना चाहते थे. The Mughal emperor appointed the company as the Diwan of Bengal. Diwan means the sole right to collect the revenue of Bengal. Earlier only 3 villages, now whole Bengal. It has then used the vast revenue resources. Now they have enough money. Okay, because now they are having the revenue, land revenue of whole Bengal. What they did of Bengal, instead of buying goods, they did not concentrate on the welfare of the people, whereas the whole money was utilized for the welfare, for the benefit of the English East India Company. These revenues began to be used by the huge money. What they did, they purchased cotton and silk textile from India, then maintain company troops. They themselves want a troop. Troop means army, because if all the Indian rulers, if they reunited and went against the British, then they should have something to fight against. So that is why. And meet the cost of building the company forts. Now the company also want a fencing, fortification. Don't know these people, if the Indian people they started attacking, तो अपने आप को मजबूत करने के लिए फोर्टिफिकेशन चाहिए था, आर्मी चाहिए था. वो पूरा पैसा जो है ब्रिटिश ने इसमें यूटिलाइज कर दिया. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द फर्स्ट पार्ट. लेट्स सी, इट्स अ वेरी बिग चैप्टर, ह्यूज चैप्टर. So that's all for today. Watch the video related to Battle of Plassey. Thank you.
The Battle of Plassey. You will be able to list the factors that led to the Battle of Plassey. List the reasons for the defeat of Siraj-ud-Dowlah in the Battle of Plassey. The East India Company felt that the large fee demanded by the Nawabs and the local rulers to carry on trade was unfair. They also felt that the enlargement of settlements, buying of villages and building of forts which were banned by the Nawab were necessary for the expansion of their trade. What the company wanted was a puppet ruler who would act in their favor. So they tried to replace the then Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, with one of his rivals. This angered Siraj-ud-Dowlah, and he ordered the company to stop interfering in his governance affairs. He also ordered the company to stop fortifying their settlements and pay their taxes. When the company failed to accede to his demands, the Nawab marched with 30,000 of his men and took control of Qasim Bazar and Calcutta Fort. He cut off all supplies and support to the company's ships. To aid the company, armed forces were sent from Madras under the leadership of Robert Clive. The company's naval fleet was also sent. Robert Clive defeated Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah at a place called Palashi in 1757 in the famous Battle of Plassey. The main reason for Siraj-ud-Dowlah's defeat was Mir Jafar, one of his commanders, who turned traitor and never fought the battle. Robert Clive had promised Mir Jafar that he would be made Nawab after Siraj-ud-Dowlah for his services. The Battle of Plassey was the company's first victory on Indian soil.